Hey, how's everybody doing? Saturday, June 14th. Flag Day. Flag Day. Somebody's got a birthday today, too, but you guys are going to have to figure that one on your own. All right, so what do we got here? I want to make an argument. Maybe an argument? Yeah. I want to see if there's a way that we can try to figure out what's going to happen here, like in the next, for one thing, the next 10 days, because we really only have 10 days trading left in the year, in the month and in the quarter. So remember that. We're going to get a new quarter here too in 10 days. All right, that's going to come pretty fast too. All right, so I'm looking at now. I've been showing you on the 212. We had this thing right on, right? Because you guys have been following. I hope you have. So we got that 212 back down. Went back inside our triangle. This is good. That's what we've been talking about. One issue that I want to make, or a couple issues that I have right now with the daily. You see this daily right here? This is an island. It's not connected to the mainland. For the most part, this one's really not connected either. All right, this is an island as well. All righty. But these island formations, I talked to a strat soldier about them a lot too, and what we look for on these islands, right? Which now we have more than ever before. We never had gaps like this before, 20 years ago. But it is what it is. I got shooter down on day. Okay, futures took a hit here. We closed at 597. I expect that we're probably going to be opening lower on Monday. Okay, more bombing, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So here's what's cooking. What I'm going to be showing you is going to be called it's a descending triangle. Okay, so and this is why I want to go back and look back, see how the markets, how they just make their moves. They chop up and down, and then here you get a big tumble. Okay, they got down to 481.80. That was in April. Okay, it was only a couple months away. I mean, not too far in our history. Okay, so we got down all the way back down to 481.80 on the SPY. All right, we were down to 400 handle, and we're back up to 600 handle. All right, so crazy, nice big move. They tried to triangle out here, but they took that. They took that up too. Okay, so notice the green, red, green with the two down. Okay, green, red, green. This is the setup that we see on islands just a lot of times over and over. Now it's kind of rare, to be honest, but it's becoming more popular now because there's just been more gappers than ever before. Or just in the last couple of years, there's been a lot more gapping, especially on the futures. A lot of overnights business now, they're pushing the markets around. So this is a setup right here. It's the green, red, green. This is basically a bearish harami. All right, so you got the three with the one coming back inside. All right, with red. All right, now it wouldn't be a bearish harami if it made the higher high, but it did not. So this is a bearish harami. So I got three reasons why the SPY can fall apart. For that reason alone, there. Okay, and then you got shooter down on the day, and then if you go to the week, you got that going on with a really nice shooter coming down. Okay, so I got three reasons why. Okay, I got three reasons why I think this market's going to start to maybe possibly make a move that that might start to triangle out some stuff as I show you coming down. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the, I just wanted to make a point about this island situation. Now I want to go back, okay, and I want to go to the week. All right, the weekly is right here, okay. This is what we got. I'll shrink this down a little bit. All right, that is the month. I was looking at that before, but I want to show you here. So shooter down on week, right? I showed you the pivot. I told you about the pivot on Friday, and I told you the pivot on the other day. All right, so we finished with the shooter down. That's where I was just talking about that on your weekly. All right, so try to stay with me here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can shrink this down a little bit. There we go. Much better. Okay, this is a descending triangle. What's important here, right? We're back up to the highs after the slam dunkorama. So we've already seen it happen, right? It was up here. It came down. It was up here. Here it is now. Now we're starting to come back down. Okay, so what I'm looking for is, now, I did this on a weekly, but I will keep you up on a daily basis, okay? So 2 down now. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this, because it's going to keep moving out. You know what I'm saying? So all I want, I don't even care if it gets to the lows. My concern is up here that we do not make a higher high, okay? This is a descending triangle. Okay, we do not want to go any higher than here. We don't want any to go higher than there. Now, if it comes up and it takes it and it's a little bit and then a shooter comes in the next day, anything can happen, all right? But right now, we're trying to get this guy to go into force in a way that can trigger some other things, and I will get to that as we go. All right, so shooter down on the week. This is I'm putting a lot of chips on this, man, because I think that the market's going to definitely come down. So somebody's got to make a call. All right. So what I'm saying is that anywhere we come inside here, we triangle out. There's going to be support areas. Okay, like right here now. This is a little island in itself. All right, there you go. That's that one I just showed you. All right, so gonna have to get through this just to begin with, okay? And that's 570. Excuse me, 575.58. Okay, so like I said, we might be down 595 and change here by the opening on Monday, maybe lower. Who knows? Okay, because if it's going to start happening. If they get this, if it starts to trigger, it's going to move fast. Okay. So anyhow, so here we are. So anywhere that we come in here, they're going to, like I said, you'll find support, but as long as it doesn't go up through here. All right. If it comes back up here and makes a higher up in here, it's kind of like okay, we're okay. And we can get back to trying to get back to those highs that we couldn't already get to. Okay, that's your high right there. But that's 613.13. I mean, we can't get there. All right, and now we're descending. Okay, we're descending, coming down on a weekly and on a harami. All right, the bearish harami. And you got the week down and you got the day down. All right. So 2 down now, 10 days. All right. 10 days is going to run out pretty fast. So we're going to look for moves that come inside here, coming back up inside here, not making a higher high, coming back up at any time during this. Okay. The market could just fall apart. Okay, so, but we're going to know where we are. We're going to know where we're at here. All right, so we'll have a pretty good idea. Like if it breaks here and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose and they start coming down, then, we know that. Okay, and then, we can judge that. But watching the measuring moves, okay? So shooter back down. All right, we stay inside here. We come back down. We do this choppy. that we see all the time. Okay, so this is what we're gonna wait. They're gonna go. There's gonna be rallies, even when them sell-offs are coming. There's gonna be these rallies, especially in this market these days. Whenever the market comes down, the people are stepping in to buy, and it just seems like that all the time. So there's just me saying this is very difficult to kind of do, because these buyers are just relentless. They always coming back in the market. You see it here, you see it there. I mean, it just never stops. All right, now we've had a great 2024. Just an amazing year in 2024. This year we go up and we make these highs, and here we is at the highs. And we're got up there and we stalled down, and then we fought back, and now we're not making any higher highs. All right, so anything that comes above this now, like I said, anything that comes above this guy, then it's kind of game on. It looks like there's continuation to the upside. All right, so this is what I'm saying. We stay in here, we continue, however long this takes. But if this starts to descend down this way, first thing I want to say that if the SPY gets anywhere near, okay, it gets anywhere near 585. All right, and that would be coming down into this area right here. If we were to get here right there, all right, we would take month out. Okay, that would be shooter on month now. Okay, that's 585.06 is the low right now of the month. Okay, and we're coming down. So on my numbers, I would be looking at 595, which might be there on the opening. And after that, I don't really have, I got a 591.05, maybe a 591 in here. That might give us some kind of support in here. That's coming off of this right here. All right, so maybe there's a little bit of support there, but if it breaks there, then it's down to 580, and then we're going into the 570s, and we want to see if they want to get continuation to the downside. All right, so shooter down. All right, enough of that. I'll go to the month, okay? And what's true about the month that anybody can tell right off the bat? What can this month do? This month can go outside, which means it could come down and take out this low and go and turn into an outside bar and go 2-2 back down. Now you could be faced with the 3 potentially. That's a big call. All right, so that would come down. It could do that just because it made the higher high. That's the only reason why it can be outside. All right, and then on that day when the new month comes in, if we can get this thing shooter down, and then it would be a shooter that would go into force and then start to take down, and then you get the new quarter inside. And oddly enough, the way I kind of setting it up here, so the quarter is going to be inside. There's no way around it. Okay, we're going to come inside in here. This is a quarter now. We're not going to get inside. We're going to be stuck inside here no matter what happens. But we do have a target, and that's right here. Okay, and that is 545.42. 545.42. Okay. So if this was to come down, okay, and break this coming down on our new bar that's going to be coming in here, if we break that coming down, that could be a sorry, oh my God, that could be a potential place where you could get an entry coming back down. Okay, so if we can get these dailies and weeklies to start pushing this market down and do that choppy thing that it's going to do, that's what we want more than anything, because we don't know when. That's my biggest challenge all the time. I'm trying to figure out when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? I have no idea when it's going to happen. But this kind of helps me gauge a little bit as we see. All right, so that's where I'm at on the SPY. All right, make the move down, find some support areas, rally up. We're looking for failed rallies, failed rallies, failed rallies, failed rallies, with never making the higher high. Okay, and then if you get down to 520, now you're in a position where you could say, okay, where are we going from here? Okay, so we'll see about that. All right, so that's my thoughts here on the weekly. It's kind of hard to read on the daily, so just kind of be patient with me. I'll trim this down a little bit. All right, I'll trim this down a little bit. There's our coming back down. So anywhere in here, and again, the first thing we got to do is get off of here. All right, and right now you got shooter down. So my next step there is 591.26. If we bust that, we're almost halfway through it already. All right, we'll see if we can. This is the first thing we have to break, and then we got a gap to deal with. Okay, but we got guys in here. They'll lead us the way down. All right, for right now, I just want to get through the first week. All right, see if it's going our way, okay, and see what kind of choppy we get for like the next 10 days will be really important because we are going in, and at the end of the quarter, they always try to make things look pretty. Even if the markets are going down, they'll try to make it look good because that's what they do at the end of the quarter. They try to make things look pretty. All right, so that, and June 30th will be the last day of the month. All right, so there's your SPY. There's my thoughts, and then I'm going to give you the Qs. I am going to give you diamonds, but I'm not going to give it to you today. I got thoughts on that too. They're already in trouble. All right, they are already in trouble. Just like the Qs are in, just like the SPY's in trouble, the Qs are in trouble, and so are the diamonds. All right, so here's your Qs. Just a beauty coming down here on the daily with your shooter down. Okay, that's coming back in our triangle. It's going to be hard to see that, so just sit tight with that. All right, this is the same thing. We're looking at a descending triangle. We're coming the same way down. Okay, you'll see it on the week better. All right, so now we're there. And what do we got on the week? We got the same thing that they got over here. Right now, they got shooter down, and that's a beauty coming back down on the week. Couldn't make the higher high, couldn't get the higher highs, could not get them. Okay, and now there's trouble, there's war, there's problems. All right, are they going to cut rates? They might. Is the market might go up? Maybe it is. And we got Fed on Wednesday. Okay, so who knows? All right, but this is my thoughts. Okay, so 2-2 back down here now, trying to get off of this little island here. So that's the first thing you got to do, is you're going to have to bust through there. That's 500 spot 69. That's far. That's $26. But I think we're going to be lower coming in. I think the thing is, if these weeks go into force and start going down, I'm telling you, I want to make an example of it. Look at Tesla. All right, I want to show you the shooter down on the week and what happened. Never got the higher high. This shooter tried to go back in, and you're going to see this, but guess what? Never made the higher high. Boom. All right, so that's a good explanation. Now, granted, that's a pretty good one too. All right, but I just wanted, that is a shooter down on a weekly that goes into force. Okay, I just wanted to make that example. All right, I won't tie up too much time because I know you don't want to listen for that long. All right, so Q's down on the week. All right, there we are on our triple Q's. We got to shrink this down a little bit so you can kind of get the gist. looking to break down, looking for the lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and we'll wait to see. All right, what we'll do is we'll watch the monthly very closely, because if the monthly starts to weaken and we see that going on, we know now that them shooters are going into practice, and then we wait to see if all of a sudden that month becomes something that turns possibly even green, possibly even red, back down to the lows on your triple Qs and on your SPY. All right, so watch them on the month, and then again, same thing with the quarter for the Qs, right? New quarter is going to come in. You're going to be stuck inside here. Qs, you got a way out. At least you got one step, one way out. You're going out that front door, 456.69. All right, going to have to break that guy. All right, what is that? 457.44. All right, so we'll see. We shall see. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there. I just want to put my thoughts out there on what's going on with the markets, and I'll keep you up on a daily basis, and hopefully we can start to get some downside movement here. And then what I want to do is I want to talk about how you get in. All right, how do you get in? How do you get into position? All right, and I do that when my people come in on my Discord. All right, so I show a lot of that. So we'll I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it in. Put it in your thoughts. Just think about it. You don't have to get crazy about it, but let's see if it starts to go my way. All right, so hey, have a great day. Have a great Father's Day. I'm a dad. I'm a grandpa. I'm going to see my family. I'm going to barbecue the hell out of barbecue, and I'm going to have a good time. All right, so everybody just be cool and have a great weekend. All right, and be good.